students. Hope you're all doing well on this snowy day. I'm trying to put together this little audio video clip for you. I hope it's not confusing. I hope it's helpful. I'll do the best I can to be clear and instructive to you about our upcoming module and the rough draft that's due and the due dates and the writing workshop specifically, because it can be a little confusing at first. So right now you're looking at narration essay module 3, and again, as I told you before, go through everything sequentially. The thing I'll point out here right away while we're looking at this is that the due dates in this module vary a little bit. On this Friday, the narration essay rough draft is due, and the following Monday, I would like your first post, at least your first original post of both of these discussions turned in. The reason for this is so that you get some of the reading done ahead of time that might relate to writing narration essays and other types of issues, and get you thinking about it. And it allows you to have some time before the final Saturday night, last minute, midnight hour, quick discussion post just to get your points. I really want you to read one another's, to respond to one another's, and try to learn from each other during that last week. So Friday's a due date, the following Monday is a due date, and then of course the final draft and the changes paragraph and survey is due, next the following Saturday night on the 15th. So keep those due dates in mind. Very important. Also, I want to point out that this rough draft right here is worth 30 points, and the rough draft is listed in the part of the grades called daily exercises, which is worth 20% of your overall grade. So it's very important that you get these turned in and completed on time. Okay, so that's the overview of the unit. Now let's take a quick peek at the document that is within this module called Our Writing Workshops. It's a very important explanation of how everything works, and so much depends in this class on your reading comprehension. So here's what that document looks like, Our Writing Workshops. And you need to read it carefully and look through it. It explains how everything works. I've got some things in boldface here that are very important. But essentially, you're going to compose your rough draft, in this case of the narration essay. It's very important here. It indicates this rough draft should be formatted like the final draft and have the look and feel of a final draft. It should be double spaced. It should be have an intro, a body, and a conclusion. The more clean it is, the better easier it will be for someone to read and give you feedback, and it'll also give you a good jump start on your revision. You'll be glad after we get into this, a couple of modules, that you have this process, because it'll give you time to really work over and edit your writing, and that's where truly the improvement in writing occurs. So make sure you go these step-by-step things. You submit your rough draft. Now you're going to submit it in a discussion board. I'll go back over here and show it to you. You're going to submit it. See this little icon here? That's a discussion board. And you're going to submit it as an attachment. And then when they all get submitted, I will notify you as to what group you are in. And for example, if I place you, and I'll send you an email or send an email to everybody indicating if you're in group A, B, C, D, or what have you. If, for example, you're in group A, and you'll find out who the other students are in that group, you'll go back into this discussion board and grab the attachments of the essays, the rough drafts of your group members. And you will then be able to read them and respond to them. How do you do that, and where do you do that? Well, you do it by going through the Narration Essay Workshop Guide. It's all laid out for you. I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a minute. And then you would submit this guide to your group members in the group you're in. So you would go into, for example, Group A if you're in Group A, after having read the other students' essays, and after having written up your feedback to them in this workshop guide, you will then go into Group A and post your workshop guide for them, as they will for you. Then you will be able to read what the other 2 or 3 students in your group have said and given you feedback on with regards to your essay. And you can respond to their questions, you can ask them questions, and they can do the same for you. It's very important that if you submit your rough draft to this spot, you follow through with the workshop. Because if you've got 3 of your group mates who are working hard looking at your essay and giving you feedback on it, and they never get any feedback at all from you because you didn't do it, that's a grave injustice to them, and it really can be demoralizing. So if you're going to submit this rough draft, you need to participate in the workshop. Now let's look back at the actual document, the workshop guide document. It says right off the bat you need to copy and paste this. So you will grab this entire document and just copy and paste it into a Word document. Okay? And then in that Word document you can actually type in your answers to these questions. And it's very important that you're very specific, that you mention, for example, what you think the thesis is. You can copy and paste what you think their thesis sentence is here, that you can comment on it, that you can say, for example, in paragraph 3, it seems like you're telling a lot and not really showing very much. Or in paragraph 2, the detail here really works or it doesn't work, and why. But you have to be very specific, because if your group mate gives you a good paragraph answer to all these questions with very specific information about misspellings or places where the punctuation might be right or you didn't follow the grammar or what have you, and then they go and they look at this document that you have filled out for them, and all they have in looks good, don't see any problems here, this is great, good job, and that's all you answer after each one of these questions. Again, that'll be demoralizing to them, it's not fair, and it will impact the grade that you receive for your participation in the group. So make sure you fill out this workshop guide and then attach it back in your proper group that you've been assigned to the students that are in that group. When you're all done with that, you'll be able to interact with each other, and I'll tell you when this needs to be done by. This is due on Friday, and I usually give you to the following Monday to go through these guides and give your group mates feedback, and that gives everybody 3 or 4 days just to kind of ruminate on it, think about what kind of feedback they received, and maybe make some adjustments and rewrite some things or revise some things, so that by the final due date night, February 15th, it is in really good shape, the final draft is, and you'll hopefully receive a good grade on it for all that hard work. Also, when you're done and you submit a final draft, you need to give yourself plenty of time on that Saturday to complete a changes paragraph. This is also a significant assignment where you type up a good full paragraph and discuss the kinds of changes and revisions that you made after looking through these workshop guides that the classmates in your group gave to you, and after also looking over this narration self-analysis as you think about your process of writing and your final product. So it's very important that you get that submitted as well. I hope that this helps. Listen to it a couple of times. Look over the whole module. Click on everything. Make sure you read everything you're supposed to read. These sample narration essays hopefully are of help to you, give you an idea. And even though a narration is a story, and a story is sometimes very informal and first person often and whatnot, you still need the structure of an essay. It still needs to have a main point in that introduction in the form of some kind of a thesis that indicates what this conclusion that this story has allowed you to draw about life or what have you. You still need a thesis sentence, and it still needs to read like an academic essay. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I'm here to help you, and I hope things go well for you. Best wishes.